Okay, right. Oh shit, I was not ready for that, despite the countdown. What's the crack, everyone? How are we? We are live yet again. For oh yeah, there's actually a good few of you in here already. Jesus, usually doesn't. Usually
Fucking
isn't
no
this quick.
lifers.
Yeah, you nerds. We are joined by the normal. We've got Ben Belong Long. I would have forgotten his name probably had the thing not been there. So thank you to Ryan for that. It just makes everything easier. As per usual, as per normal. We're joined by Ryan Fleming, great and creative as we love to see, and we have an actual guest, a normal person, an outsider. We're joined by Cass, whose first name I did just ask how to pronounce, and then decided to use his alias instead.
We're not gonna go there.
Yeah, it's just too complicated.
Yeah.
It's four letters, too much. 3-letter words only. Am I right, Ben? So yeah, that's how are we all? Also, just while we're on it, make sure to get your viewer questions in either the Discord or our the live stream chat. Just get it underway. But Cass, how are we? Thanks for coming on.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say you're feeling pretty great after yesterday.
Oh, definitely. Hardest game is done.
Yeah,
I'd say that, no offense to QB or QB, right?
All the offense.
Yeah.
No offense.
No offense, but I think they're not gonna give us that big of a fight as DCU did.
Yeah, I suppose we may as well just jump straight into it, because that's actually what I was thinking. Did you anticipate DCU being as good as they were, or better, or what did you think going into it?
Yeah, I actually did. I thought so. What I thought in the bracket's gonna happen, right? That what's their name? Ruben's team. UCD. It's gonna be UCD and DCU in the quarters.
Yeah,
and then DCU are gonna beat UCD, and then we're gonna fight DCU in the semis. It was a little bit closer than I expected, though. Like by 1 or 2 rounds. There was definitely some rounds that we we did a little bit of trolling, you know, but not our usual trolling. We kind of kept it under wraps up until we kind of were comfortable. And
yeah. I mean, it was a good match. Actually, I kind of thought it would either be really, really close, or you guys would kind of run away with it. Yeah.
I think that's what Vertigo was gonna be. Because it was like 8-1 at one point. And my keyboard was just sitting there ready to type some.
Yeah.
And then they kind of came back. I was like,
Yeah. No, it was definitely the TU Dogs messages that were in the chat. It did make it a little bit more fun. Yeah. Adam JC as well, coming in with the Titanic references, saying if they're the iceberg or not. I love it. I love the content. It's interesting. No, would you say, out of curiosity, because you mentioned UCD, do you think this DCU lineup would have beaten UCD? Not this season, but like prime UCD that played against you guys. How do you think they match up?
See, I'd say, let's say run it back a season ago for UCD. I'd say DCU would actually still be UCD. Just based on the amount of just like raw skill in that lineup, I think Bioka can definitely just take the game and just throw every single UCD player out of the fucking window.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No.
I think player for player, DCU are way better, I think.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what the question mark was going into your game as well, because we weren't sure. We haven't really seen you guys tested much. I personally thought UCC would give you more of a game. Actually, just while we're on it, what did you think of UCC this season? Because I suppose they were probably not on your radar before, and they turned up and they beat UCD.
All right, please remind me, who's on UCC?
Linny, Milk, Salt, Otter, Darkness, and _ Sean.
Do we play them in the
yeah,
quarters?
You did. Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
You didn't think much.
I'd have to go back and check the scores, but God.
I says enough.
Okay. You see who he says. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think you beat them 16-9 on Nuke. And then I don't know if the other map was close or not. I just remember that. But they absolutely demolished UCD. Like UCD got like 3 rounds or something on 1 or 2 of the maps.
Yeah, on train. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched that. I watched that.
I'm sure you loved
meltdown.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. But then my point about the brackets, you know, before the brackets or after the brackets got released, I was like, you know what, all that fuss for nothing.
Yeah.
Me typing all these messages in the Discord, you know, doesn't matter. UCD are out, 16th place.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, in the dirt. In the dirt.
In the dirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Along with their B team and their C team.
And their
all
C team.
finished
Yeah.
in the same place, which
I
is
mean,
just
Nice.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good game. Actually, other than Bioko, because I mean, if you look at the DCU team, he's probably realistically the one that's standing out the most. In your series, who surprised you? Like who stood out for you other than Adam?
Simplify. Actually, I think I know people are thinking Simplify. Oh, that whiff on Vertigo, but actually, his aim is kind of insane. He is that type of player that is gonna run an entry and he's not gonna go single folk. He's gonna get 2 kills, take the site, but he's also that person that will kind of crumble. I think we kind of saw that on Nuke.
Yeah.
I don't think he really had that great of a game. Just by playing with him, like Pugs, I can see what type of player he is.
Yeah.
And you know, having that kind of like, you know, community, like, you know, going to a pub with Bayoko or a Simplify, you actually get to know them as players and kind of know their weaknesses. And same goes for us, you know.
Yeah. So did you abuse what would you say was weakness, and is that something you consciously thought about to counter him?
No, we didn't really have.
Probably didn't need to, did you?
No, we just knew that once we shut down Simplify, he's gonna be a little bit tilted, and he's not gonna, you know, do the crazy shit he sometimes does. Yeah, there wasn't really like a proper plan. It was just, you know, there never is. We literally go into Discord 5 minutes before the game, say what's up, play the game, leave, see you later, see you next week. Like,
I mean, if that's all it takes. Ryan, I know you watched the game. I watched it with you. We had Gas, if you didn't know, we had a bit of a viewing party here. We kind of all hoped for your downfall. We were all praying against you. We were all cheering for DCU, see if the iceberg would beat the Titanic this time, and it didn't. But Ryan, what did you think of the game in terms of what you had expected going into it?
I mean, we did sort of say in the last one, you know, we know TUD like to take their foot off the brake and maybe fuck around a little bit. Cass likes to pull out the sawed off and go Mr. Big Balls around the place. But and we sort of thought, you know, at what point do they stop that in case it gets too close? And he just answered it there. You know, they fucked around a little bit, but not enough, apparently, for DC to actually be able to do something. They brought it a little bit closer. Bioko popped the fuck off on Vertigo. I think for the first couple of rounds, he was the only one doing anything really on DC. And then near enough hit 30 frags at 16-12. I mean... You know, he did the work. Maybe let down a little bit, but, you know, someone's going to give way whenever you're against TUD. It's kind of like, who's going to, you know, you're surprised if someone stands out. You're not really surprised if people bottom out the scoreboard.
Yeah. And Ben, I know you caught some of the game. You'd predicted TUD to win, right? I assume.
Yeah, too.
Yeah. Any surprises for you? Like anyone that didn't show up or showed up beyond your expectations on either side?
Not really too much, you know. The only thing was I thought Nuke was actually, even though it was 16-11, I think it was a lot closer than well, at least from watching it, I thought it was a lot closer than the scoreline showed.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was that close. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, like on TUD, I think you won like 3 1v1s where you were like 20 HP or something like that. And then there was one round you guys were eco and they all just like rushed out.
We all remember that.
That was honestly so tragic for them.
Yeah.
I said it as a meme in before Vertigo started, but it kind of is true. If they didn't lose that round, it would probably go 16-11 to them. I said that to Tilt Bayoko, but maybe there there definitely was a little bit of truth in that. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, that,
we
that was
all
kind of the round that swung it back in
Yeah.
your favor.
all of our heads were in our hands at that moment. Like it just that wasn't the call.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought you'd
Mm.
buy more, but you just two people just sprayed with the deagle. And
Yeah,
they both got,
literally, we had two players go ramp with the guns that saved, and then we just bought nades and a deagle and a armor, and we just saw the Irish. Adam gets a headshot through the blooming smoke. I
Yeah.
spammed the door. I hit 3 guys, 2 for like 80 HP. The other guy's like minus 40. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
What?
I just thought I'd say that moment's gonna live in their memory. Like that could have been it. They could have been the TUD beaters,
or even a map winner. Like
yeah, honestly, you take what you can get. But I mean, I think we've kind of covered that a little bit. I'm sure we'll get some questions on it later, maybe from the DCU guys themselves. We kind of have a tendency to get questions from the teams that just played and asking us to tell you how good they are. So maybe we'll get that. Who knows? But then on the other end, the other game last night, NCI and Back Six. So for spoiler alert for anyone that doesn't know, Back Six did come out on top. Ryan, did you caught the games? What did you think? What did you predict first of all? I suppose.
I think I put NCI to win. I remember that distinctly because some asshole was like, "What do you mean? Do you think 2 players can carry a team to win?" It's like that's all you need really to show up. And even if you look at Dust 2, 16-13 to Back 6, and Comeback King dropped 28 kills. The man's fucking nuts, and like that was with some pretty big whiffs. Like it, my tactical analysis isn't going to get much deeper as to why NCI lost, because on both maps I do remember, like, because both of them 16-13 and 16-14 on both maps there was easy spots where like a multi-kill's available and he gets none. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whenever you're doing that, it doesn't matter, I suppose, if you have people popping off. Like, you're just going to give away those swing rounds. And QB, they did quite well. But I don't even know if it's a case of QB winning the game or NCI just giving away some, tight spots that they definitely shouldn't have.
Yeah. Ben, I know you were watching the game. Like, both games were obviously overlapping at the same time. You were much more into the NCI game. You had more eggs in the basket. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, it was a banger. It was a really good watch. It was quite funny. Vertigo 16-14 QB. I just remember a certain NCI member coming into the Discord before the game and being like, "Oh, you think they're gonna win because they threw some flashbangs and grenades?" Haha.
Yeah,
And then,
and that's what happened.
there was one round on Vertigo. NCI plant the bomb on A. They like need bomb plant, molly bomb plant, and spam through the smoke and just get 2 kills. It's like that's the one round they needed to win the game. Like stuff like that. Yeah, but Vertigo was really good. And then there was that 2v5 that the NCI guys got, made it 14-14. I think it was 14-14, something like that.
Yeah,
it was a really good match.
Yeah, it was a great series. I think I spoke to some of the NCI guys after their game. I get on pretty well with Jackmon on the team, and I think I'd asked him what went wrong. They didn't have their full 5, I'm told, and I wasn't sure had that made that much of a difference, because from what I saw, Ledian didn't have a bad series. He was the guy replacing their 5th, but they felt as though they were missing him a little bit. I guess it's just cohesion. Like, it's easy to play with the same 5 all the time. Any slight change, someone may not play this position the way you're used to. Stuff like that can throw you off. And I was surprised with the veto as well, considering NCI had beaten UCD on Dust. And Dust 2 wouldn't really be a pretty tactical map that you think Back 6 would normally play. But Back 6 played it, and they played it well. All credit to them. I think they started off, it was kind of close at the start. What was the final score, Ryan?
16-13. I think QB actually have played it a couple of times, especially against like UL, whatever sports was in that group.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. But I think the Vertigo was really interesting as well. I think maybe a little bit disappointing that NCI didn't really show up. And I've question mark beside where I wrote talking about this series in my little document I have here. Was it an upset? Like, Cass, would you have favored Back 6 or NCI in this game?
Considering that we played them before, wait, I think we played both. I'm not entirely sure if we played NCI, but we definitely played back 6 in the group stage. It was the match that people thought,
Yeah.
oh, they're gonna take them out off us. Even though they had the internet problems, they seemed like a team that had like a lot of like cohesion and really played well together.
Hmm.
So I actually thought QB are gonna win this. It just didn't seem that NCI had the strats
Yeah.
and the teamwork. And honestly, I'm surprised. It's like it actually was that close. I'd say it was. I'd say it would actually go like 16-10, 16-10 on both maps, but they made it like fairly, very, very close.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was disappointed. I kind of thought that maybe QB didn't have the firepower that maybe Comeback King does, and Comeback King alone has. Because like when he's popping off, he's popping off. And I didn't really think anyone could touch him. But to be fair, back 6 turned up. And I say this every game, and I got memed in the Twitch chat because I say it. So and so turned up, so and so didn't. They should have won. You know, I say it all the time, but I mean, I definitely favored NCI in this. I was surprised, a little disappointed to see, but it means we have a banger final, which is the perfect transition to discuss because we saw you match up previously, back 6 and TUD, and like you said, it was very highly anticipated, partially because of me. I just spouted on about that shite the entire time because there's a bit of excitement about whether a team that was doing well in Newell could come in. That they're Northern Irish. Could they beat what our best team is? And it wasn't as close as maybe people had kind of thought. They didn't really turn up. What are your expectations going into the final? Will you say it's going to be a smooth 2-0, or what do you reckon?
I think that they're actually it's gonna be a closer game definitely because we're not playing on British servers.
Yeah,
So it's actually
yeah,
they're not gonna be running around with 120 ping. But I'm gonna be honest. I think we're just gonna roll over them.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
you're at least you're honest.
Like I just don't see a world where we lose to Smokes and Mollies and
Fancy flashes.
fancy flashes.
Yeah.
Whoever said that before, I'm saying it again.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be an interesting game. Is there any maps that you're kind of like, oh, we won't touch them on this because like, have you done any like research into them? Because this kind of like, I had a few questions. We always talk about you guys just play the style of CS where you just don't give a fuck, and you kind of illustrated to us before. You turn up 5 minutes, you say, "How are you lads? We go win today," and then you do it, and you see you next week. Is it literally just that, or is there any sort of structure or system in place, or is it just 5 people playing?
Literally 5 people playing. The one set thing that we have is that we don't play Inferno.
Okay. Right. And
that's about it. That's about we talk about the video like while we're in the server waiting for the video to be done. Like that's all we do. There's no preparation. We don't really look at them beforehand.
Even against teams that you'd be maybe worried about, you wouldn't even like against DCU. Did you do any prep work?
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think Ventake messaged the group chat and he was like, guys, hit the DM, these guys shoot back. So
yeah,
that's all we did. Hit the DM 20 minutes before. I think the servers were down, so couldn't really, practice as well. But
yeah. I mean, at least that's kind of complimentary from Ventake to say they shoot back. Would you say, like, even in the past in your finals against UCD, like the team that was pretty, like they probably weren't going to touch you, but they had their best. They were the best chance anyone else could foster up. You literally wouldn't watch a demo, you wouldn't counter vetoes. Like even in the game, are there set strats, or is it still even in those high pressure situations against teams that could do damage? It's literally just you saying, "Guys, I'm going to buy a sawed off and kill them."
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That is it. Like Adam, I know he IGLs in his own team, so whenever we actually need a little bit of structure, Adam takes that role. But most of the time, it was just, look, I'm going ramp, I'm killing someone. I have ramp can be,
Okay.
Adam definitely took over last game, or against DCU. He IGL'd the Nuke and Vertigo, and I think that kind of helped us a little bit.
Okay.
Simply because they're kind of two maps that you kind of need teamwork on.
Yeah.
You can't just run around and shoot people.
They're not as puggy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're exactly. They're not as buggy.
Yeah. Would you say? I also noticed actually, like even in terms of roles. So you're saying Adam was taking over the IGLing. For some reason, I kind of thought Eric would be doing IGLing. You know, I think he's kind of hailed as being a pretty smart player in the scene. Maybe that's something I've picked up on wrong. I kind of thought he was a pretty smart player. Are there any other defined roles? Obviously, your preference would be the op, but we saw Vent take on the op a lot in the series. Was there any thinking behind that, or he just wasn't feeling rifle, or what was that?
Literally, I didn't really want to op. He wanted to op. I was like,
Okay,
go on,
yeah,
go on, take
yeah.
it, take it. Like I'm not. There's no constraints. Like if we want to go 5 ops, we can go 5 ops. You know.
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, God, I think any team would strive for that level of versatility where literally any of you could just take any gun. It's Ryan's getting annoyed. It's just the TUD sucking off show now. But I suppose that's just the competition, isn't it? Like, yeah, I think I suppose we should probably just get some predictions from the rest of us, and then I think if in our general chat in the Discord, everyone, you can go and vote in the straw poll. Ryan, what are your thoughts next week? Give us a prediction. Give me why. Our back six is going to be able to take a map.
I mean, I'll put on my knee pads, you know, I'll get down on both knees and just say TUD are going to win 2-0. And I don't even know how close it's going to be, to be honest. Like, this, you know, I like one of the guys on back six because I've only talked to one. But, you know, they talk about the tactical style. I'm actually going to have someone show me what their tactical style supposedly is. But yeah, it is sort of is the meme of will fancy flashbangs defeat TUD, and whenever Cass comes on here saying, yeah, whoever, you know, we have about picks up the op, we'll play whatever map, just not Inferno, and we have a guy who calls occasionally. You know, it doesn't really fill me with confidence for any of their opponents. So yeah, I think it's 2-0. Not sure how close it's gonna be, but yeah, it is what it is.
For the viewers. If it gets too, you know, too one-sided, I'll pull out the side off.
That would be nice to see. If you could do it at that level of opponent and you're still shitting on with a shotgun, you know, that's something we'd like to see. Ben, are you echoing the same kind of thing, or what are you going for here?
Yeah, it's just gonna be a 2, isn't it? Like again, I'd not to say, you know, I'm preying on your downfall. I would like to see us drop a map still, but I don't think it's gonna happen at all. So
no. So you're going 2-0 TUD?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely easily spin the narrative, get everyone behind TUD, say they're Ireland's team, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go 2-0 TUD as well. The Titanic will not sink this season, and ICE's continuous salary that they are paying you guys is going to just get that extra little bit spicier. I don't know if you've even noticed, your prize pool has gone up about €50, so your pockets will be that much bit fatter.
Yeah, that's an extra spice bag or so.
Yeah, extra spice bag. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think we kind of can't even talk anymore because the secret to TUD back six is they're just better, and I don't think there's much else to talk about. It's not like any other team. Like you could have UCC on, we'd even have DCU on, who are similar. They're like Aldi TUD, where they have the same stuff. It's just at a lower quality level, but they're still good. You know, they beat the shit out of every other team in the tournament, realistically. But there's not really any method to the madness. And I think that maybe the nonchalance of the way you play the game is kind of intimidating because you guys literally just don't care. And the guys that care more, they're getting more stressed. They're getting tilted. They're getting upset. You know, this game means everything to them. You guys just don't care. And it works. I mean, yeah.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah, it does work.
Yeah, actually, out of curiosity, we've heard about like different teams losing players. What's your team looking like next season? Who are you losing to graduation or whatever?
So, unfortunately, the Reaper has come for Ventic and Arach.
Oh, okay.
So my dear friend Timmy is no longer going to be on the team. John as well. I have no idea who we're going to pick up for the next season.
Okay.
Gonna probably have to do some scouting, see who's where.
Who wants free money?
Who wants free money?
Yeah. Well, this is your advertisement. Everyone, that if you go to TUD, you can hit Cast up if you want free money. And if you're what's the 2,500 elo is probably the cutoff point, right? You need to be at least that.
I mean, right now Timmy's 2,300, so let's keep it 2,300,
Okay.
just so Timmy doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah. I mean, is there anyone that comes to mind? Like, is there any? I've heard. Do you have Extinct on your bench or something? Like, are there any? There are some
Yeah.
big names in college, right?
Right. I think the reason why Extinct didn't play this year was he deferred his college plays. I don't know if he's going to be coming back or what's the story with him, but if he does, then happy days. If he doesn't, it's
Yeah.
kind of our problem to deal with.
Yeah.
I think there is if you know who Jack is, just
Yeah.
HK, yeah. I think he is in TUD, but I don't know if he's actually doing like a full-on course or if
Okay.
he's just doing like a 1-year course. I have no idea. I haven't really thought of it just yet.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But whatever we come up with, I hope it's the best.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a pretty long-standing history of a pedigree of sorts. So I hope you can find someone to replace it. I suppose we may as well just move on to some viewer questions. We've had a few, and I think there's a really interesting one. We've answered the question before, and I'm sure you've seen it. And this one comes from Cornflake. Big up ICL. He comes from there. He's the mascot. So this is for you, Cass. If you had to make a TUD beating team, what would that 5-man look like? So if you build 5 people, go on.
Not in TUD, obviously.
Not in TUD.
Yeah,
Okay.
TUD.
Okay. So I thought of the first 3 people actually. I definitely would have put Nalco as stopper.
Okay.
Maybe he'll come back. I don't know. Next season. I would put Bayoko. He is just crispy aim. Ekip from Trinity. I would probably give like Simplify a chance. I really like him as a player. Get his experience up. Play with like 3 highly skilled players. I think if they could like take him and be like Simba, or I don't know. I haven't watched that movie in a long while. Get him to different heights. And then for my 5th, see, I don't know. I need like a wild card. I'd say Pinhead Larry, just because of the name.
Jesus, that is a wild card. That is not one I expected.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know any of the QUB back 6 guys? Like, have you played against or with them before or anything?
No. Maybe once in ICL, I was like, "Yo, who is this guy?"
Yeah,
and that's about it.
Well, maybe if they beat you, you'll have to put some respect on the name. Yeah, definitely. That's an unorthodox 5. Ben, would you have taken anyone out of that? Not to put anyone on blast, or do you think that he's missing anyone?
I don't know. I'd maybe put Comeback King in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's a shout. Ryan.
Maybe take out Pinhead Larry and maybe put in someone like Otter, pre-retirement, who does a lot of work before a game to set his team up. Maybe if he didn't have 2 players who were playing Valorant instead of Counter-Strike, he would have went further, but you never know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you got your shots out. I hope you're happy. Okay, we've got a few more questions. One recent one there. Any chance of a sawed-off ace in the grand final? That's from... Okay, all right.
Yeah, you read who it was from.
Yeah. Okay. No, probably not, right?
I mean, if it goes to that point, I'll definitely do my best. If it's 10-0 up, they're on eco, I'll whip it out. Do my best, but can't promise anything.
Yeah.
They're rare.
Yeah. I think it'd be the ultimate disrespect. If honestly, I think if anyone aces against a good team, it's just ridiculous. Like it's especially at like pro level, or I'm not saying you guys are pro level, but even any sort of decent against level 10s. If you're acing in general, they're fucking up. There's no way one person should be able to run around and kill all of you. But I mean, it happens.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. So do you think that, given the fact that TUD had quite a few close games this season, interesting, that we're starting to see the end of the TUD era? Or do you think that TUD were just a bit more relaxed and we're never really that close to dropping any games?
Yeah, as I said, we do a little bit of trolling here
Yeah.
and there, and all those close scorelines are literally just because I'm running around screaming like fucking have my sawed off. Jesus Christ, it's not COVID. Having my sawed off, just having a fun time, not trying to sweat it out, as per se. If we tried like we tried last season, we probably would have hit our goal of last season of 16-3 in every single game. I don't know. Last season we won for our first 2 series and all the maps were like 16-3. So we were like, you know what? If you know, 16-3. And yeah, we kind of hit it last season. This season we kind of was like, you know what?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you had a close game against MTUB. That comes to mind. Do you remember them? You lost in round.
Is that with Young Lone 20?
No, I think that's MTUA.
Oh, that was in our round of 16, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Hold on. Let me look at the date. That would have been last week. No, that would have been 2 weeks ago. Yeah, same story. Literally, I think we woke up before the game. I think we all had like pretty bad sleep schedule, and we woke up, started, whipping out the shotties. I remember one of the players actually, their upper. I can't remember who the name is. He kind of had a couple of good rounds against us while we were running at him with Novas and stuff, but that's about it. We kind of just at the end we're like, you know what, let's not troll any more rounds. This is kind of we kind of want to do our stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't that they pulled out some phenomenal Counter Strike and you guys were baffled. It was more they killed us with shotguns.
Yeah, it was literally us running into their crosshairs with shotguns.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
at least from mine and John's perspective.
Okay. Does anyone in your team, out of curiosity, like not buy into the playing loose Counter Strike? We'll say, to not use the Ruben word. Like, is there anyone that's frustrated that you guys play like that, or are you all of the mindset we'll just have a laugh?
I mean, we're all kind of that mindset, but whenever it gets to that point, I think we just kind of get like annoyed at each other. It was like, let's cop on, let's do this, finish it. Yeah, we always try to have fun. That's our main goal. We don't want to not have fun. Do random, like not random shit, like play set Counter Strike. That's that's not fun against people that some may say don't have hands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is actually a player in the league who only has one hand, so that would work perfectly against him.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot about him.
Yeah, no, he's actually a good player as well. He's actually
he is probably better than 45%. Okay, maybe 55% of the players in the league.
Yeah, there you go. Right, that's high praise, Mr.
That man impressed me, and
yeah,
I don't think we have actually got a chance to play with him yet.
I think you did. I think he was in your group. He was he was NUIG. Yeah.
Oh right, it was early. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the rest of the lineup there, but yeah, he's definitely a good player. Brian, do you see any other questions in the chat? There's one from Jonathan there. Do you want to see them?
Yeah, so Long asks, how well do you think a TUD lineup would do? Or how well do you think a TUD lineup would do in the ACA leagues, and how far do you think you would get? You can obviously kick that off.
That's I don't know. I've never really thought of transforming the team from being like a for fun college team to an actual ESA team, like what UCD, yeah, it was UCD did with Drags a couple of seasons back. I don't know. I don't think it actually would go that well.
Really? Even in
Well,
like the lower divisions
no,
of the EPL?
as in no, it would go well, but I just don't think it would be as fun because then we would have to like stop for funning and actually go practice and do all the stuff that people do that people already do on their own teams.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think we would do well, but it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to see how far we'd go, but I'd say we'd probably go in the first. We'd start from open, so I don't know. We'd probably qualify for intermediate or whatever the other one is above it. I can't remember.
Advanced or something, isn't it?
Fuck knows.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
Fuck knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We definitely do well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that maybe I've heard now, Ben, actually, you're planning on setting up a little ESEA open
I don't know
team.
if that's happening, but maybe.
Okay, well, I know like there's a few ice teams. Some of the UL guys are setting up. I think it's actually a really smart idea for people that want to like be kind of fresh going into the season, for the winter season. You know, get your five together in advance. You know, practice, do the ESEA season. You're already a well structured team by ice comes around, and you've played against admittedly way worse teams. So actually, it probably wouldn't be a bad shout for like some of those less to like medium skill teams, you know, that could maybe have some sort of a chance in ESEA. Because I'm pretty sure ESEA Open is like very mixed skill. Like from what, like there's some really bad players, but then there's teams of high elo players.
Yeah, there's teams that are fresh teams, but they're forced to play in open just because they removed the qualifiers for the upper division, so you have to go through open if you want to go into anywhere like close to main.
Fuck, that's a long process, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Jesus. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think it is just for anyone else. Like UL, I know UL Adam. I don't know who else was going to be on that team. Maybe Hanno or someone as well. Really good idea. I'd encourage as many teams as possible. Maybe if TUD are losing two of their players now, who knows? Maybe a well-practiced UL could beat them down the line if they have the ESEA experience. Because yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I guess we'll see next week as well whether practice will even do anything. It'll even hit the armor that you guys have. We got another question here. I don't think there's too many more. This might even be the last one, unless either of the boys have anything else. What do you think teams need to do to actually beat you guys? Like DCU lost a lot of rounds on Vertigood that they shouldn't have. Were you guys worried about that? Like, what do teams need to fix?
What do our team or
no? What do your opponents need to fix?
Definitely. I think our strength is on like the CT side. I think we kind of know, like we have good setups. We kind of know how to play off each other on the CT side. So teams, I think they just need to work on the G side a little bit. You know, kind of understand how we're going to be playing, how we're going to be trading. Maybe I don't know. Maybe some teams just need to upgrade one player, and they'd be able to do actual damage to us. That's the thing about like college CS. You're kind of constrained to a college. Whoever is in the college, you can't really like get like a drags on your team. And we just kind of just got lucky that all 5 of our players are going to TUD.
Yeah. I mean, I think it is pretty bizarre how you've got some of the best players in the country all on the same team, and then you've got poor drags stuck in IEDT. I think
just for him, I'd love to see the import rule to be like one import rule.
Would you? Do you not think teams would like from selfishly? Do you think like maybe he'd go to UCD for example and be their import? Do you think they'd have a much better chance? Like, do you think you'd be more scared coming against teams with the import?
See, I don't think so. I think I know when it was the case that they were allowing imports, there was a lot of not misconception, but misunderstanding on who their import is, and how do I say it? I'm kind of backtracking on my point, but I don't think an import would actually change the team that much. Simply because it's one player for another player. Like, let's say you have level 4 and level 10, they swap out. You now have a full team of level 10s, but
Yeah.
the other team also can have another import, and it kind of balances it out. Like, if you let's say you have like Connor, our Connor, the not Dragsy, but
Yeah, Connor Moore.
you know who Connor is.
Yeah.
Like, we could, for example, get Connor, and that just kind of makes us even more scarier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
it
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
doesn't really matter if we are, up against a buffed team. If we're gonna be buffed ourselves, we're gonna be
Sure.
coming in like.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I suppose it would be scary. Would you take the chance? Would you upgrade? Like, if the import rules brought in tomorrow, you could take any player. Would you do it?
Oh, it depends. I'd probably say no, just for the ego factor.
Okay.
You know, I'm not really scared of going up against imports.
Yeah.
I don't think any of our teammates are. But if we, let's say next season, Ventake is gone and we can't really find a replacement for him,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be stuck with someone that barely plays the game. I'd say that we definitely would get an import. Don't know who.
Yeah.
Maybe one of our friends. We don't. As long as it's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's nice to hear that some people's priority is having the laugh and having the crack. I think even from my own experience, and I'd say Ben, you're pretty similar as well. My experience hasn't been that of huge amount of fun, but more stress and agony. Would you echo that as well on the lower to medium scale team?
In some sense, yeah. Sometimes it's hard to get people to, especially if you want to actually like try. It's hard to get people on to do bits. Like, you can't just get a level 10 who shows up 5 minutes before and carries you.
Yeah.
Because if your college doesn't have it, they don't have it.
Yeah, I feel bad for the smaller colleges as well, like fucking MTU, who have Nalco, who now won't play. But I mean, like, God, it just must be heartbreaking that someone of that caliber still can't really compete with his team against teams that are still worse than him individually. He'll lose, Like, I'm sure he would individually have a good game against you guys, for example, or he'd probably have a really good game against UCD or someone like that. But I mean, would the rest of his team show up to his level? Probably not. Not the rest of them anyway. Not saying they're bad players. They just don't have the experience or
Exactly.
the just raw ability that he has. Like, he's just sick. I think we're kind of coming to an end here. We're coming up to the hour. I think we have a few things to mention, just really quickly.
Well,
Ben,
sorry, but it is also worth pointing out someone from TUD now supports the import rules, so maybe ICE might actually consider it.
Yeah,
I doubt
maybe.
it. I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. So Ben, what do we have coming?
Actually, what do we have coming, Sam? I don't know what you're trying to ask me here. I'm sorry.
We were privately messaging me just there to say what you had to say, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Ryan, you want to do his job?
Yes.
Ryan, do my job.
So we've personally pushed quite a bit, especially in the watch party. Winterland have been testing the waters for potentially doing a LAN in winter, surprisingly, but also in Dublin. So if you get on vote what esport you want. If you could keep it Counter-Strike, Valorant, and Quake, there are 3 ones that I can cast quite well. So if you throw in any of them, you might actually help me get a job. And on top of that, we do have Gambra coming on next week. So if you could put your questions in ahead of time, as I'm sure there might be some interested parties in ICE maybe wanting to know what Gambra is going to be answering before he gets here and answers them. And it gives us time to sort of vet things out because, we've
Give
had...
him out questions, don't abuse him,
Yeah, exactly, because
busy, man.
like getting players on is fine, you can chat shit, you can put QICL, whatever. But whenever you're getting someone like, and Cass can respond however he wants, but if you have Gambra on and you ask stupid questions, he can't respond stupidly because he represents ICE, so keep your questions somewhat fucking, double-digit IQ, please.
Yeah, just to extend on that just a little bit, for the Winterland thing, so you can follow them on Twitter, and they have a website. Disclosure, we are in no way affiliated with them.
Yeah, that's
the dumb
important.
shit we say on this show is nothing to do with them as an organization or the people that run it. So just make that very clear. We literally just want to go to LAN and have pints. That's pretty much it. And then shout out to Airlan as well. They're doing the same stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Just in all honesty, lads, like voting for the Winterland thing, especially, we just have it's literally takes 2 seconds, and it means you could be playing CS on LAN with the people you're playing with. It's in the chat there. Ryan's put it in for you guys. And if you want to vote Quake as well, because it's a great game, I wouldn't be opposed at all. It's worth putting in there. So yeah, everyone, just hop in the chat there, go for the vote, and we're good. And then on the Gambler thing, Ryan kind of said it all for us there. We just like to give the questions in advance so he can get the man upstairs' his approval. Obviously, he can't talk about everything, so don't be too upset if he can't really address maybe one of your questions. We don't know what they have going on over there, but I'm sure he's going to be happy to talk about seeding. And like Ryan said as well, don't be cunts, please. Like he has a job. He's a grown up. Like he does this to help the scene out. And I mean, I think it's just try to be constructive with it. If you have thoughts on what you think seeding should be, what I should do, what they shouldn't have done this season, stuff like that, constructively, put it in the viewer questions channel, and we'll get it onto him. He's in the Discord anyway, so he keeps an eye on everything. And and yeah, we'll see him. We'll see him next week. So it's pretty cool to have him on. Ryan, any closing thoughts?
Surprisingly, no. I have nothing to bitch or moan about this week. So big ups. Just try to finish it relatively quickly next week, Cass, because I usually get dinner after the watch party. So yeah, just try to mop it up kind of quick.
Yeah. We all. I made popcorn during your game, and then it was gone in seconds because there wasn't really anything interesting happening. It was just kind of.
See, our game was supposed to start at 7 actually, but it got rescheduled to 8:30.
Okay.
And Adam was like, "Yo, I'm missing the Liverpool game for this." Right? So I think you might remember, he had like 4 or 5 clutches on Nuke and Vertigo. I was there in his ear saying, Liverpool. Get it done with. You're gonna catch the end of Liverpool. Like, just hurry up, just clutch. It's easy 2 headshots. Come on, man. And he actually got it.
Wait, out of interest, did ICE reschedule your game or did you guys?
No, it was DCU. I think one of their players had like a society meeting or something.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
I thought it might have been to do with streaming both games, but no, that's okay.
Nah.
Too much credit, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever you said, the Liverpool game obviously motivated him. Shout out to Adam. You had a fucking unreal game. Like, that series was sick. Every time I was watching, I'd take a look up from the NCI game and I'd see it was just crazy. All of you played pretty well from what I saw, but he stood out to me. And
Definitely.
I think we'll leave it there, guys. We've kind of gone through the viewer questions. We kind of talked about some of the questions already at the start of the show, kind of just jumping straight into why TUD don't lose and why they're better than you. And then we've kind of looked at the back six stuff as well. I think that's a topic of interest for most people. And just a big good luck to you, Cass. You're Ireland's team now. You got to represent the down south. Yeah, big up. Yeah, best luck in your game, and I think we'll
Thank
leave
you.
it there.
Yeah, we won't bore you
Yeah, hope not.
anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
ciao.